Yes, sir. My Tricka back up in this thing, man. Today, I hope y'all ready to take another deep dive into the unknown, man. Today, I'm reacting to some creepy TikToks that'll leave you puzzled. But before we hop into that, man, go ahead and spam that like button right now so we can run the numbers up on the algorithm. You ain't even got to think about it later. And if you haven't already, man, go ahead and hit that sub button, man. Sub up, join the family. I promise you, this is the most lit and active community on YouTube, period, man. And to everybody who's already subbed up, I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for helping me build this community from the ground up. But with that being said, guys, let's hop straight into the video.
This church is hosting masses of Beyonce, and you won't believe what they said at the end.
Sing praises to the goddess herself, Beyonce.
Survivor, I'm gonna make it, I will survive, keep on surviving.
Y'all, I'm out of breath because we sing Beyonce in church. Holy cow.
Tell me about the progressive nature of Grace Cathedral.
I think a lot of the people who show up tonight are people of color, LGBT people, people on whom other people's narratives have been projected. And I mean, just to be honest, the church hasn't been the best about lifting up those voices. It really began as us saying, how can we actually be the people of God that we hope to be in the world?
And Beyonce is the perfect passage to get that message out there.
Honestly, I think Beyonce is a better theologian than many of the pastors and priests in our church today. That is not an exaggeration.
Even the priest is in the beehive, bro. I can actually see them starting a whole church for Beyonce, which is sad.
Get that on film. Get that on film. What the f is that, yo? Yo, what the? Is that? Yo. Oh. What the? What's that, yo? What the? Oh, did you get that? Come here, listen.
Something crashed into their backyard, prompting them to call 911, saying they saw creatures walking around.
I promise you, you cannot make this kind of stuff up. Recently, a Las Vegas family reported seeing something landing in their backyard. And when I say something, I mean beings, 9 to 10 feet tall aliens. And they were looking at them. Crazy thing is, a cop body cam caught the landing. 9 minutes after seeing this video, the call come in.
911 emergency.
Minutes later,
there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us.
Is it possible they are finally here, landing all around us?
This could possibly be the first confirmed case of alien contact, but you would think if an alien landed in your backyard, you would get video.
Like nothing but smoke, so I had to put this towel down. This is how it looks outside. I have my air purifier going. It's nothing but smoke.
Proof that these Canadian wildfires are man-made planned events, and I'm going to tell you exactly why they are doing this. This is a satellite image of all of southeast Quebec catching fire at the exact same time. Look at this, at the exact same time. Anyone with a half a brain and anyone that's lived in Ontario their whole lives knows that this is not possible. Winter literally just ended. I go for hikes almost every single day. It is not that dry. Once again, let's watch us catch fire at the same time. Look at this. The exact same time. This is happening through direct energy, high-powered lasers that they have attached to satellite. This is why you see like this in California, trees still intact and houses completely obliterated.
Hey, it's also quite convenient to have zero visibility of the sky while all these UFOs are landing, bro. But tell me what y'all think is going on.
If that means actually some of us are told, well, you can't go on a plane, that's fine. That's part of the national plan. And if that means actually some of us are told, well, you can't go on a plane, that's fine. That's part of the national plan.
Hey, I don't know what the national plan is, but it sounds diabolical.
I think it was SpaceX. Here, I call this the Tupac rocket. Here it is. And this one went up and the top half of the rocket disappeared. And if you look at this, it goes off, there's a bunch of smoke blown out of the ground. And then this thing is going up and this little flame is lifting up this, 100 tons of weight, right? Where's the thrust? But this one, when it went up, there was a little glitch and all of a sudden you'll see the top half of the rocket will disappear. Okay. And after we saw this, I think it was after we saw this one, we were looking at some, I think, Google Earth pictures of NASA's, launch pad. And we found these weird spotlights and we zoomed in on them and we were able to get it was either a name or a serial number or something. And we Googled it and we found out it's from a holographic projection company. A holographic projection company.
But they're not actually launching rockets, then my question is, where's all that money going? You can't possibly spend that much on CGI equipment.
So this creepy video is going viral right now because his son is convinced he has an imaginary friend named the Hanging Man who visits him every night. But make sure you stick around to the end to see what they caught on camera when he was sleeping.
Stop it.
Elliot, what are you doing? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
He's crying and I keep saying stop it.
Is he crying?
Yeah.
So this is the photo of the hanging man he's seen in the corner of his room. I'm going to ask him to draw it again when I've rubbed it completely off. Elliot, can you draw the hanging man for me like you did before?
No, because you'll tell me off at night.
What if I don't let him? What if you can sleep in my room? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right, so what's these on his face?
Tears.
What's this?
Straight.
Oh, okay. Does he cry quite a lot?
Yeah, because he's got hair fever up there and he's up there.
Okay.
In the corner.
Okay, thank you.
But he annoys me at the night because he keeps saying he always bangs on you just...
Okay, thank you.
Something dark happened in that house before they moved in, bro. I wouldn't be able to sleep another night in there.
The color blue was never written down.
Weird.
In like all this, like blue was never a word.
Weird.
They didn't have a word for that color?
No.
Okay.
When they would describe like the ocean and stuff like that, they would describe it as like green.
What?
And yeah. And so
Weird.
the theory is if you can't connect a word with a color, can you not see that color? Because your brain, and so they did an experiment.
That's crazy.
They did an experiment in this tribe and somewhere in Africa. It was like the Bush people, and they also have never heard the word blue. And so they gave this graph, and it's this graph of like 12 squares, and they're all green, right? And then there's one that's like a bluish green, very different. Like all of us would be like, oh yeah, that one's different. And they had these people look at it, and they were staring at it, and it took them so long to figure out which color was different because they don't know what to look for in the blue. They're like, find the one that's different. It was weird.
Yeah.
And then they showed another one, and it was all green, and then there was one square that was just like a shade lighter of a green, but it was hard for us to see, and they could spot it instantly.
Wow.
Because they have like over 30 words for green.
Oh my gosh.
So basically your brain has to be programmed through language to perceive your senses, bro. That's trippy.
Creepy creatures you won't believe actually exist. Part 14. The mantis shrimp, which is found in subtropical marine climates, has 12 color receptors, 9 more than humans and other animals. This means these animals associate colors with movements and patterns rather than using all their senses to navigate. This small creature can stun any predator with its extra powerful claws, which can exert a force of 200 pounds. Hagfish, one of the most horrible animals on Earth because they eat their prey from the inside out, using their sensory tentacles to burrow into their skin. The hagfish's slime repels predators too. Dumbo octopus, which is also known as Grimpotuthes. The Dumbo octopus was named after its resemblance to Disney's Dumbo, which is the only octopus to swim at such depth. This 12 inches octopus can be found worldwide, including off Oregon's coast. And now you know.
Some of these ocean creatures look more extraterrestrial than actual aliens.
Oh, dang! That's crazy.
I never want a pet that weighs more than me, especially not a snake. You just asking for trouble.
I thought this was really absurd, but just hear me out, right? There was a massive footprint found in the side of a hill in Africa, and this footprint was 4 feet high. And the archaeologists who found this said it was in between 400 million and 3 billion years old. And this foot would belong to something 27 feet tall. What's crazy about it is like when you step in mud, the mud comes up, right? Just like how it did when you could see like where the mud came up when this foot stepped in it. Then they found a giant finger in Egypt that was 38 centimeters long and should be belonging to something that is 16 feet tall. And I would also like to mention the fact that a bunch of these like cavemen and all these paintings have giants in them. So are giants real or just a myth? Let me know down in the comments.
There's so much irrefutable evidence that giants existed, but I wonder what happened that made them want to erase it from history so bad.
We don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar, it's called the euro, it's called the yen. They're all digital right now. We already have digital investments. And you have entrepreneurs representing digital investments on this program all day long. And it's whether it's the big tech companies, the automobile companies, you name it. It's all digital right now, the investing world. So what is the real underlying value of these tokens? And that's why you need full, fair, and truthful disclosure.
SEC Chairman Gary Gensler giving his opinion on whether or not we need digital currencies. We can clearly see he does not like cryptocurrency and he has a motive against them. The SEC Chairman should be unbiased because it is not his job to determine whether our country needs cryptocurrencies or not. That is the job of Congress. He wants a digital dollar, which will be the CBDC that gives the government total control of your money. Opt out with Bitcoin before it's too late.
It's a little suspicious that he's vocally supporting CBDCs this hard. It makes me even more against it.
Why do you think it's gonna bubble? Because it bubbles when you put it on blood.
No, it bubbles when you put it on earwax.
It does?
Yep.
Ah, that's cold.
No, see, yeah, it came out. I told you.
What came out?
It's a spider.
Oh.
Yeah, look.
It's a spider? Oh my god!
I told you that would come out. That's disgusting. Oh my Jesus Christ. That's disgusting.
Oh my
God. Let go of me. What if you have more bugs? I told you that would work.
He was way too cozy in there too, bro. Absolutely not.
The Kardashians cursed all the men in their lives. It was alleged that a woman who was an ancestor of the Kardashians sacrificed her soul to 4 witches in Armenia in order for all the women in her bloodline to always have fame, fortune, and beauty, while the men around them suffered. Just to take a look at a few of them. Scott Disick, who went from being a relatively successful businessman to developing severe alcoholism and depression in front of the whole world. Travis Scott, who went from having the #1 album in 2018, then becoming the most hated and disgraced artist of all time, and not releasing an album since. Caitlyn Jenner, who ran her relationship with Kris and her children, and later got ostracized by her own community. Kanye West went from being at the top of his career to being locked in a mental hospital and running his 2020 presidential run. Pete Davidson, now undergoing trauma therapy after the negative media attention from being with Kim. With all that said, it isn't really a long shot to say that.
At this point, fellas, if you know what's good for you, just avoid.
Oh my God!
He had no plans of getting off his ATV to help, and I don't blame him.
Okay, so here's another lie. You think NASA's real? Check this video out right now.
This is the surplus from NASA year after year. There's vacuum chambers, actual engines, actual motors. This is the lost technology that NASA talks about. If they say it's a painful process to bring it back. On behalf of Flat Earth, I present you the painful process of going to the moon that they've scrapped entirely since the 60s. In 50 years, this stuff's been sitting right here. So we're in a place called Norton Sales. It's in North Hollywood, and they've been buying surplus for years. At the end of a project, Gemini, Apollo, or something, by government process, it shuts down fiscally, and it has to go to auction, and they sell the entire building, desks and everything. This is where it ended up, and they scrap certain things and they keep other things.
So you telling me with that old technology they went to the moon, but we can't go back with all the advancements we made today?
How can NASA stop Elon Musk from going to Mars and find out there's military already on Mars? Well, they have just declared it unsafe for humans. So that means they're going to stop Elon from going there. Just like they've done with crop circles, where they paid people to make fake crop circles so that no one would actually work out that there's real crop circles. Same as what they've done with Venus, which is actually looks like Earth underneath the dust clouds, but they're not going to tell us that. And same as the back of the moon, where there's tall structures from alien crafts and alien buildings, etc. Of course, NASA's not going to tell us that, so they give out this particular picture here, which is probably either CGI or photoshopped.
They most likely declared it unsafe so SpaceX won't be the first to reach Mars and they can just claim it for themselves.
Why you should never try to follow a shark on a jet ski.
It's not the brightest idea to just pull up on a vicious predator like that, especially on his home turf.
The Sphinx was not built by the ancient Egyptians. The Sphinx is a statue of a mythical creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human. It is located in Giza, Egypt, and is believed to have been built over 4,500 years ago. Despite its significance, there is no mention of the Sphinx in any hieroglyphs. This absence of the Sphinx in hieroglyphs has puzzled historians and archaeologists for years. Some suggest that the Sphinx was built by a civilization that predates the ancient Egyptians, while others believe that the Sphinx was built by the Egyptians, but was not considered significant enough to be mentioned in their texts. One theory is that the Sphinx was originally built as a guardian of the pyramids, and its purpose was to protect the pharaoh's treasures. However, as time went by, the Sphinx lost its significance, and the Egyptians simply forgot to mention it in their texts. Whatever the reason may be, the absence of the Sphinx in hieroglyphs remains a mystery.
I feel like a lot of what we've been told about ancient Egypt has been fabricated, so it's hard for me to believe the mainstream narrative anyway.
These two kayakers were kayaking in a popular whale watching location when suddenly they were swallowed by a humpback whale.
Oh, Oh.
Speechless and unable to help, the onlookers watched in horror. A second camera angle captures this horrifying moment in even better quality. Thankfully, the humpback whale quickly spit them back out, and the kayakers were unharmed.
I've always feared this exact situation, which is why I stay out the ocean, bro. I would be shook.
Last night, something really bad happened at the Cecil Hotel. The hotel is rumored to be haunted after a tourist named Eliza Lamb was found in the water tank nearly 10 years ago. To this day, no one knows how she got there or if someone was involved, but this is the only footage of her. She's seen running frantically into an elevator, and it looks like as if she's hiding from someone or something, but no one ever enters. And just yesterday, allegedly, a person jumped from the top of the building to their death. Guests of the hotel were seen packing up their things from the windows, and there were reportedly over a dozen fire trucks at the scene. The scariest part is, you can even hear screams coming from inside the hotel.
That was scary.
At what point do you just board it up and close it down for good? I'm not sure if that first clip is a salamander or not, but that face is unsettling.
Got another company who signed up to CBDC, and that company is Aldi. Aldi have opened the first store in the UK.
So look at this.
You're in London, you're on a business trip, you're staying in Greenwich, and you want to buy some food. So you're going to the local Aldi's, like this one, and you think, I'm going to go in here and buy some food so that I can feed myself. And then you approach the barrier, and look, you can't even get in the shop without having a QR code to scan here, or to scan here, and then you can go in and buy things. Now this looks to me like the beginning stages of the digital prison that we keep talking about. What do you think?
Chairless store, meaning customers can walk in, get what they want, walk out, and don't have to interact with any staff. Even at the checkouts, they just walk out with the products. This is another way cashless society is being executed. So this company has just supported the launch of CBDC going forward. So as I've been saying, this is part of the bigger plan. We've seen other supermarkets already joined, and now we've seen Aldi. We'll see more and more of this. We need to wake up. We need to wake up, and we need to get ourselves ready for what's to come.
Usually big corporations only make major changes like these when it's profit driven, but I saw at least 6 or 7 people turning away. So if it's not financially driven, then what's the real purpose?
There's this forest in Poland that is home to 400 misshapen pine trees. Now these trees are all grouped together, and the other pine trees around them, they're perfectly straight. Some say that a major snowstorm caused the trees to be crooked. Others think that local farmers manipulated the trees as they grew. But these are just theories, and to this day, the origins of this crooked forest remain a mystery.
It would have to take at least a half a century to train a tree to grow like that, bro.
The National Geospatial Intelligence Agency now formally blowing the whistle on secrets he says no one has ever shared publicly before. He is speaking one-on-one with investigative reporter Ross Coldhart, reporting for News Nation.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will. It's probably not the right parlance, but no kidding, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
When somebody says quite a number, you know it's a lot.
Blizzard's marketing escapades are in full swing, but this time things may have gone a little too far. That's because they put up massive billboards featuring the demonic Lilith across all of New York. Well, just days later, the sky turned red and the air turned toxic, with the posters ominously reading, "Welcome to Hell, New York." Well, this obviously wasn't Blizzard's doing. In fact, it's all been caused by the wildfires engulfing Canada at the moment. But as that tragic event unfolds, at least we get a moment to enjoy some sweet art.
That billboard was perfect timing, almost too perfect.
There's a glitch in the Matrix. Why is it just floating? It's just like it's. What the?
The clip, which shows a bird hovering motionlessly past the camera, sparked a slew of wild theories and speculation, with some even suggesting we're witnessing a glitch in a simulated reality. In the puzzling footage, the bird's wings appear to remain entirely still, giving the illusion that it's floating or suspended in mid-air. This unusual sight led many to question the reality of what they were observing and to propose far-fetched explanations.
I feel like the bird's wings are just flapping at the same speed as the camera's frame rate, but the other 2 clips, I don't know. That sound is too close to human screams, bro. I would feel guilty even eating it. But with that being said, guys, that was the video. Thank you for coming to kick it with me. Let me know what you guys thought about these creepy TikToks in the comments below. And until next time, y'all take care of yourself.